Started the webinar. Mm, mm, mm.
All right. So good afternoon, all attendees. I hope you guys are keeping well, and thank you for joining us exactly at 2 p.m. We always like to be on time here. So thank you very much for that. So just in the interest of time and also to spare your Fridays, I think we'll get started right away, even as other people come in. So by introduction, my name is Bryan Nthiga, working for the NSE, Nairobi Securities Exchange, or as some of you might call it, the Nairobi Stock Exchange. They are the same thing, don't worry. So it's just that same institution. And we are very pleased to have this webinar with you guys on the Ziidi Trader platform. So I think these are some of the innovations that are coming to market, and I'm very pleased to particularly for this call to be joined by the actual team that has been able to implement these very important milestone. So what I'll do is just by doing a very quick round of introductions, I'll set the stage, then I'll invite my panelists to come in. But just for your benefit, so at the NSE, we have recently embarked on a new strategy. So that's 2025, 2029. And as part of this strategy, the one we have three main pillars. And one of those, in one of those main pillars, we have a key goal to target retail investors, as well as to bring more quality products that you guys can invest in. And we have a very key target that we want to meet, or where we can have 9 million retail investors. Now, to help us achieve that, this is one of those tools, because you want to make it very seamless and very easy for you as an investor to come and invest in the stock market. So and I think that's why we're having this. And also for context, this particular webinar that you've just joined in is part of a series of webinars that we've been doing. This particular one will focus primarily on this Ziidi Trader platform, but be on the lookout. We are doing a lot more webinars and market education on the merits of equities and shares and things like this. So please be on the lookout. We'll be sharing a lot more invites on the same. But now, without further ado, because the market is still open and you want to get a live demo before it closes, I'd like to invite my other colleagues here on this call. Maybe I'll start with Gitau. Can just say a quick hello to these people and then also introduce yourself, and then the same to Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Bryan, and thank you for all the organizers and all the participants on the call. I can see you streaming in on a Friday. So happy to be here. My name is Gitau Macharia. I lead products for wealth at Safaricom, and I'm very happy to be here.
My name is Eric Ruenji. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for making time to attend this webinar. For me, I would like to say is I'm Eric Ruenji, been in the market the last 23 years, currently founder and CEO of Theo Capital Holdings. And the journey we started the journey a while back with Safaricom, and that's the reason why I'm part of the team that is discussing about Ziidi Trader. Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you. So those are the team that will be guiding us. You can already tell. I know in the posters they looked very serious, but they're very nice to talk to people. They are not as serious as the poster suggests. So so yeah, and very approachable. So without further ado, I'll hand it back to Gitau to just take us straight to the platform, so that we can get a sense of the feel of what this platform is. So thank you. So over to you, Gitau.
Yeah. Thanks, Bryan. So if I was to maybe begin with that, as I'm easing into the demo with 55 minutes to go before the market closes. So when we began looking at Ziidi Trader, we had just rolled out Mali. So we're keen to understand how customers were behaving on an easy investment tool. And we now started leveraging or pivoting towards stocks or additional. And this was brought about by the question of our customers is, how do I progress? I've seen how easy it is to put in my money. And remember, this Mali and the Ziidi all have just two easy buttons, which is invest and withdraw. They're like very easy. So you don't even have to think of anything. It's just click invest or click withdraw. And the feedback also from that was how easy it was for us to invest, and they were happy with it and were using it. As we were looking forward in terms of what do we add for you to invest in, you also had to look back and understand how easy was this customer journey. So one of the key things that we started looking at, even before we looked at anything else, was the customer journey. How can we understand how this customer uses or would have the thought process of investing? So we didn't actually even look at the technology, intermediary, nothing. First thing we said was, how is this customer gonna interact with us? And you begin with a simple opt-in, walking through it, and then you have your buy. How do you go through the stocks? And in one of our very earlier designs that I looked at, we actually had a CDSE account within it. And it was a very good A/B testing. A/B testing would be just to understand how that flow goes. And during one of those testings,
Maybe
yep,
just a minute, Gitau. I think there's a double echo. Maybe you can mute one of your other
devices, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
No, it's important.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you? Mic check. How is that?
I think
It
that's a
says I've
bit better.
completely muted. I'm not sure, but you can confirm.
I can hear you. Maybe Grace, you can also double confirm.
You're loud and clear. You're loud and clear.
Good stuff.
Okay, perfect.
Hmm.
So yeah, so in one of our earlier designs that I was looking at, I got to see that one of the designs that we had was actually keying your trading account number. And we actually went to the streets in somewhere in 2023. I remember we went to Naivasha. We'd already created the first prototype. And we went to Naivasha and we started speaking to users. And something that has forever been ingrained in my mind was a gentleman. We were outside one of the Safaricom shops, and there was a gentleman there looking for support. And as we're trying to show them Trader then, very different from what you see now. The guy was very hesitant, and his concern was, I don't know how to trade in this. However, I do trade in crypto. And the guy pulled out his trading platform and very, very knowledgeable. And he was very knowledgeable about the reason I'm buying this crypto is because I know apparently they're used by some company to do this. The guy was very knowledgeable, and that really challenged us to understand that Kenyans are keen to invest, but they don't have access. So at one point, it was discouraging to know that guys are not interested in the local market, but very encouraging to know that they are looking at buying stock at wealth accumulation if they're given the right access. And from there, we now started working on it better. With that many stories, allow me to jump in and now show you the Ziidi Trader, and you'd find Ziidi Trader on your M-Pesa app, on one app currently, and it's only available on the one app or M-Pesa app if you're still on it. You would find it under, already it's one of my frequent products, but you'd find it under financial services, and you'd find it here at the very top. Now, I'm already opted in, but the opt-in process is quite simple. All you have to do is go in and use your PIN to opt in and register. So once you use your M-Pesa PIN, as long as you're M-Pesa registered user, and currently we are only offering it to Kenyan ID holders, but have plans to expand it in the future. Once you have that, all you have to do is just opt in and you begin. You'll have a few questions, regulatory wise, of course, to just understand your source of funds and accepting the knowledge of this particular product has and bears a bit more risk than your previous Ziidi money market fund. Now, on your landing page, you have the ticker at the top with your stocks. You also have an indication of when the market closes, your portfolio value, and your values and gains. I currently have 3,821 and gained 62 shillings. I'm minting it, so drinks on me on the 62 shillings today. And you can also view existing trades. Today I've done a few trades. I sold Diamond Trust, I sold Absa, previously I'd done Umeme, and a very clear audit of what's happening. You have your pending order, if you have existing orders, and you also have the ability to create a wish list. The aim of the wish list is to help you just put top of mind the items that you'd like to track. And you can now go to buy trades once you have an understanding of your landing page. Within trade, you have all the stocks are available on the Securities Exchange, as long as they're not halted, suspended, or any other action taken by the regulator. If they're available to trade, you will find them here, arranged alphabetically. So allow me to pick a stock. Let me pick NSE, as it's a closed period and I can't pick Safaricom. Obviously, I would pick Safaricom. So within your search, so high level, you're able to see how NSE is performing. As you can see, the rate today, it's performance today, highlighted in red. You also have within the order book your bid and offer price, and this is a live order book for all this. And we received this order book from the NSE, from the ATS, so we received directly from there. We're able to show customers this. This is a very key feature for us to display to our customers to help them know what to buy and sell. We found transparency very key to our customers in terms of helping them understand how the market is performing and what to buy. I currently hold 30 shares of this and I'm looking to expand. So on your buy process, it's very simple. It's very few things. And remember the conversation of we needed to understand, we needed to follow customer behavior. And it's, you'll want to know a buy price. So you can look at the snapshot if you have knowledge on using the snapshot, or we made it very easy for the customer by choosing the best price as you go along. And the reason for this was to help customers fulfill their trades. Let me buy 10 shares of this. And I know previously, maybe to speak about previously, we could only buy in lots of 100, but with the support of NSE and the login, we're able to give customers the ability to buy one share. And this came very much in handy as Safaricom's retail customers, majority of them would look at buying something that's less than the lots of 100. Thereafter, you'd have a breakdown of all the costings. As I mentioned, transparency is key to our customers. So you have a breakdown of all the costings that you have, broken down as per CMA regulations. You proceed. For now, you only allow you to move some money from M-Pesa, and coming soon would be your Ziidi wallet to help you have a holistic wealth accumulation process. You have your confirmation status, and you have your confirmation. You have a confirmation ID for this, and you also have an order ID that's confirmed. Now, what we have here is the execution has gone through. So if you look at trades and we go to my trades, we have NSE having bought at 10 shares at the price, and the date is well indicated and the time. This is to help in case you need to call support to get any support. If we go to my portfolio, I previously had 30 shares. I was in the green, but after buying that, I'm now in the red. As we check performance, so you can see the price is 1991. I bought it at 1995. So price-wise, I am in the green. However, I'm in the red because the way we've calculated it, and remember, majority, we're moving our customers who are predominantly not traders or participants in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So one of the key things was also to make what easier. We'll go back to the conversation of customer journey. So at this point, when you buy, we load up both commissions, buy and sell commissions, meaning the minute your trade turns red or green, you're in the money, you can sell. And I've had success conversations from customers calling in to understand. I have a lady who works in one of the customers, she's a lady, and she works somewhere in the CBD. She one day called trying to understand how fast this process was and why she was getting her money so quickly. And I think I'll throw it to Eric to speak about that liquidity provision part. But one that she wanted to understand, and I pried, so I asked her a lot more questions of what do you understand about this? Why are you trading? And she confessed she knew nothing about it. However, the only thing she knows is once that stock turns green, she's in the money and she can sell. And she does that as a money-making project for her. So the minute she buys, and she buy high values, 100 to 200,000. Once it turns green, she sells. So that is a process of buy within that. And I could also go to the process of sell. So yeah, so allow me to go to KCB. Now look, so KCB, I bought slightly high. You can see I bought at 6.1, but the current weighted average price is 65. So let me try and cut my losses. Let me sell 10 shares. Who knows? There's a fallacy that I might make money someday, so let me not sell all of them and go at a complete loss. And proceed. So I get a successful confirmation on this. Portfolio has dropped. Let me view my trades. I've successfully sold 10 shares of this. Let's check. As you can see, I have received the money I bought, and I've immediately received my money on my M-Pesa. I'm 665 shillings richer or poorer if I didn't make money. And yeah, if that's okay, Bryan, I think I can stop there for questions.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think that was very good. It's also good you bought NSE shares, so yeah, we applaud you for that. But actually, I think that demonstration was very to the point. And so you're saying the share that you bought, the money left your M-Pesa, wallet immediately.
Yeah.
And then when you also sold, you've already received. So
Yes.
that's an actual live M-Pesa message. Yeah. But
Yes.
the one thing I also wanted to emphasize on, particularly for the newish kind of investors, is the order book, because I think that's what informs a lot of this trading. So maybe if you is it possible you can just share just any
Yeah.
order book, any security,
Yeah.
these investors can
So
view
yeah,
that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. As I was buying NSE, I went through the order book.
Yeah.
I can go through another order book,
Yeah.
which, as you mentioned, is a very strong part of this. And we pulled the order book directly from the NSE. I think my session has expired.
Okay.
So let me start it again. And we pulled this order book directly from the NSE, from the ATS platform. The aim of this, as you mentioned, is to help the customer understand what's trading in the market. If you're buying, what you have on the offer side, you ask, is what is available. As you can see for Britam, and the blinking is that every 5 seconds it's updating, because these are being a live market. And for Ziidi Trader, we hit the market live. So it's a direct market access. So we're giving customers access directly to the market. There's no staging anywhere. If you place your order today or right now, it's hitting the market direct. And anyone within all the brokers registered to sell and buy or to trade on your behalf are also participants within this order book. For Bitam here, as you can see on the right, the best price here would be 12.4, and you have 19,113 shares available. So if I was looking to buy 100 shares and I put it at 12.4, it'll definitely match because you have the shares available. Whoever's selling at the very top, you can see you have 15,649 shares available. That's 12.35. So a very, very easy to see and to view. And I know that the journey looks very different, perhaps from majority of the trading platforms you've seen. And again, the reason was we really wanted to understand, and we did a lot of testing with customers just to see how easy is it to use within this. We also had great support from the experts, the intermediaries, to help us also match the colors. So as much as you also focus on the customer, there's also the aspect that you really want to keep it market-wise. So every single stock has an order book. Every single stock within the trading platform has an order book. Another thing it also gives you is to understand how liquid is this. Now that I've opened kind general, and I know a lot of you are also on your order book, there's a lot more sales than buy. As an investor, you could probably ask the question why. Would be a good one. You would do a little more research to understand capacity investment. We'd expect liquidity to be low, but clearly there's a lot of trading activity on that. Flame tree, probably see how it looks like. As you can see up here, it's a bit different. The sales are way less than the buys. I'm not sure how to interpret that, but yeah.
I think now that's for the expert, for Eric now to tell us what this means. But I think
Indeed,
this is very good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and also maybe Eric, as you come in, I also wanted to highlight something here, because I know in this call we have both sophisticated investors as well as first-time starters. Maybe you can just open any one order book. And just to highlight that, I think the way the order book is arranged is not a coincidence. So for instance, this is BAT. You can see on the bid, the ones in blue, you can see the bids are arranged in descending order, right? So the highest 565 is the highest as it goes down. These, contrary to, people might not realize this, but the stock market is just like your normal market. So bid just means what people want to buy the stock for, and they are arranged from who is bidding the highest to who is bidding the lowest. So on the offer side, you can see it's vice versa, right? Because you can see that the lowest, it's starting from 569 going all the way up to 580. So offer is people who are selling. And obviously, if you are selling, you want the highest price possible. So the person selling the lowest is the one that gets first priority. So you can see here, the trade is not matching because the person looking to buy the highest is only willing to offer 565. The person selling the lowest is only willing to offer 569. So there's a 4 shilling gap for this particular counter that exists. But if now you are the one looking to, assuming you're the one looking to sell, if you do 565, we are saying that will definitely trade because
There's an available.
there's someone buying at that price. Yeah, so I
Yes.
wanted to highlight that at least for those first-time investors that
Excellent.
are in this forum, just so that you can get an appreciation of this. But Eric, you wanted to tell us something about how you can also interpret this.
Yes. I wanted to jump in and Gitau, please keep the screen on just to take you. I like how we integrated the system so that you can be able to see the bids and the offers. And this is the same way the brokers or anybody in the intermediary side of things, when they are looking at the bids and offers, this is the same interpretation. This is the same screen or arrangement that they are viewing, and the refreshing happening every 5 seconds. Again, it's good because it's a live market, so we need to keep in tandem with the orders that are coming in and being executed or being added. I just wanted to highlight on when somebody wants to buy, and I liked how Bryan, you went ahead and said it's a normal market whereby whoever is buying or paying the highest is queued first, and whoever is selling and selling at the lowest price is queued first. So the difference between the highest buyer and the lowest seller is what makes a trade to happen or not. I usually like to tell clients or investors, don't use best bid. Always look at the order book. The order book will be able to give you where the direction of the market. Like right now, if I look at the market, I'm seeing if we were to go to another counter like Flame Tree, Gitau, because I think Safaricom is matched there. So the numbers of sellers versus the bids are almost same. If you can go to a counter that has a mismatch, it usually will give you, so now like this one. So you can clearly see there are many buyers who are looking to buy at various prices. But there are two sellers. Two sellers in the case of somebody selling at 540 shares and another one selling 156,000. So this looks like there are two sellers. One is a small seller and the other one is a big seller, but has placed his price up slightly higher. So on the buyers, you can see there are many buyers. There's a queue. Let's call it a queue. There's a queue of many people who want to buy, but they are buying in various prices. And that's why now, if I was to look at this, I would be like, if I put in my expertise, I would be like, I would want to buy right now, because if somebody was to come and just lift the 156,000 shares, we are clearly left without a seller. So these are the types of graphs, or these are the types of market positioning whereby you'll be able to see if there are more sellers and there are more buyers. Right now, there are more buyers, but there's a big seller. But if somebody was wise enough, you'd be able to go in there and pick everything. And guess what will happen? You'll find now the people who had queued at those low prices they'll start amending their prices to come and match what the seller, the second highest seller is selling at. I think it's at 1.92. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
1.92,
that so?
correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
1.92.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we were to go to another counter, assuming now for this
A
counter
liquid
right
one?
now, we can a liquid one, yeah. So for
We'll
that
do
counter, it
Safaricom?
looks like let's do Safaricom or equity. Yeah, let's do Safaricom. We can do Safaricom, yeah, or equity.
Okay. Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, there is fire. You can see there are more buyers at the top line. They're buying around 45,000, 10,000, and sellers are at least down there. So you find there's a stronger chance it's a buyer's market. And maybe also just to emphasize it, and Bryan, please help me with the statistics. At one of the highest points the NSC NSC 20 was at 6,000. We are currently at 3,000. So anybody who is coming to say that the market is gonna bust, I think we still have 3,000 points to go. So based on the fact that we came from a very bearish market for many years, I still feel like we still have potential to go very high. A good example, in 2021, Safaricom was at its highest, 2021 August. That's 45 shillings, around 44.95. Currently, we are at 31.55. I believe even with the results that we saw yesterday, meeting or hitting the 100 billion club, if I may say so, I believe with what is happening in Ethiopia and even the impressive numbers, I'm seeing 31 shillings is still a bargain. I believe we should be looking at 50s or 60s based on the fact that it's a promising company. And people ask me this question, which stock should I buy? Which share should I buy? And I tell them the answers are right in front of your hand, based on the fact that you'll always need Safaricom to communicate to your family. You'll always need Kenya Power to power your homestead and to charge your phone. You'll always need, if you're entertaining people, East Africa breweries will always be there. BAT will always be there. If you have some money, of course, you'll have the money in a bank. So again, you choose the preferred bank that you want. We can clearly see there's a run between KCB and Equity Bank. Those are the two biggest banks. And people will want to choose something that is succeeding. So the answers are out there. It's only for you to think outside the box and say, why would I want to buy a stock? I'm buying a stock because I believe that that company is a growth company and it has potential to even the price to go even much higher. And even thinking about the pricing, there's another way of also making money in the stock exchange, and that's through the dividends. Right in front of me, I have a table that shows what dividends Safaricom, Equity, KCB are offering. This is where also you become a good student when you start reading the newspaper or even you start following the stock market, because you don't just buy a stock because it's available. You also need to position yourself. Like Safaricom announced yesterday, they said they're gonna give, I think, 1 shilling and one. It's 1
It was
shilling
coming
and
to 1.15.
1.15 yesterday. That's the
Yes,
final
with the interim
dividends.
of
Yeah.
0. So the final is 2. And
Yes.
yeah, so the first interim was 0.85 plus 1.15,
Yes.
making it a total of 2.
Yes.
Mm.
Correct. And I remember Safaricom said our books closure is going to be on a certain day if they haven't yet announced. A good example, we can say maybe 30th of May. They will, so before 30th of May, Safaricom will announce and say our books closure is 30th of May. So if you're a good investor, you need to buy before the 30th of May or on the 30th of May so that you become eligible to earn the dividends. So the 1 shilling and few cents that were offered yesterday, that becomes part of your profit or sharing of the revenues that the company has been making. And even to go further, there's sometimes when the company says we want to reward our clients by giving them bonus shares. That's another form of also earning or making money out of it. We've always thought about making money. It's either you're gambling or you're buying a shamba or you're having rental income. No, you can make a lot of money through the stock exchange. And the beauty about the stock exchange is whenever you want to sell or buy, there's always a willing buyer, willing seller. And that's why, Gitau, I'm very happy that you are still able to continue projecting the bids and offers. Maybe you can scroll through other counters just to give guys an idea of how different the order book
With
is.
Equity right now,
Yes.
even higher. Yeah.
Yeah, Equity currently, yeah.
Equity was very, very good.
Yes, trade. Equity dividends currently Equity is giving a dividend of 7.7. KCB is giving a dividend yield of around 10.4. I think that's one of the highest. BAT is usually the highest payer of dividends. It's giving at 12.3 and so forth. So my take is, yeah, Bryan?
Yeah, no, just conclude.
Yeah.
When you're
So
giving us important information.
yes, so my take was if you are going to participate in the stock market, please always look at the order book. It will give you an insider perspective on where the market is rallying. When you look at the bids on the blue side, if you see more bids, you know people are buying more. If you look at the red side and you see more people selling, uh, there are more offers than buyers, then from there you can be able to read that there's more supply than demand and vice versa. So this screen becomes the most important. And this is what we have always traded upon, looking at the bids, reading the market. Basically, you are currently now reading the market. When somebody will ask you a question, how is the market doing? Especially a particular counter, that's Uchumi. You'll tell the guy, I'm seeing a big seller coming in at 1.85, and the other big seller coming in at with 66,000 and so forth. So, but on the buy side, there's one big buyer coming in with 33,000 shares, followed by weaker positions of 3 shares, 12,000 shares, and so forth. Yeah. Bryan, maybe?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. I think you're showing us to be stock traders, but just for the benefit of the audience, how we'll run this. I imagine you have a lot of questions. So, but thankfully, what we'll do is now that we have a feel of how the platform looks like, we'll go through a couple of questions for yourselves. But we also encourage you to you can ask a question on the Q&A. But as you do so, just I'll pose some questions to my panelists here, because I think a lot of the questions that we'll answer might help to respond to some of the things you're thinking about. And also, I think this is one of the interesting webinars that you'll ever be to, that all this that you are seeing, you can also test if whatever we are telling you is true, right? You can download the app even as we are doing this session, so that you can just confirm that this information is actually valid and whatnot. So, but thank you. With that, maybe I'll have a quick series of questions for my guys here. And I want to take it from the top, right? So I'll start with Gitau, for instance. So this app, the way you open this app, you've used the My One app platform, the new My One app platform. I think previously when Ziidi Trader started, it used to be on the old M-Pesa app, and then now you've migrated to My One app. Now there are some guys that had Ziidi on M-Pesa, but are now maybe experiencing some challenges on the new My One app. I guess my question to you will be, for these guys who are already on Ziidi M-Pesa, what are some quick fixes that they can do to help alleviate some of these challenges they are facing in the new app?
Yeah, thanks, Bryan. And thank you for mentioning One App. We recently migrated our customers to a better experience on One App with the aim of bringing every service into one. We acknowledge that there are some challenges that customers had accessing Ziidi Trader. And one of the quick fixes you can do if you are encountering an error to load the mini app is to uninstall the One app and reinstall it again. Alternatively, you could also update if there's an update function that you have to be able to access this.
Okay, thanks. So
Yeah,
uninstall, reinstall, or update, depending on the
yeah,
platform you're using. So
yeah.
good. So that's for the guys that were on Pesa and now on One App. Now on the
Mhm,
One App itself, I think
mhm,
there are some users who are experiencing some challenges, particularly for the first time login, when
mhm.
you are
Yeah,
doing it for the first time. Maybe for
yeah.
those ones, what can they do?
So yeah, so we have received feedback that customers are facing challenges or accessing it, especially at either logging in or opting in. And one of the prompts that you get is to switch on your data. This is a security feature just to help our customers verify their accounts with the aim of keeping all your funds and information safe. So it's good to switch off your Wi-Fi and open your data bundles so you're able to verify your SIM card on the phone. Yeah. And maybe for Kenyans abroad, There's also that I know we've received a lot of feedback on customers abroad not able to access with the question of opening your data or using your data bundles. So we encourage you to just use, and key to note, this is for verification purposes. So this is to verify, and again, to have a worry-free experience where you're able to keep your money and your information safe. So just switch on this for verification, and then you can go back to Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So this is just for the very first time. You
It's
do all
just for the
that.
very first time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that, and I hope that might solve some of the issues that at least I know some audience members had. But then now, just finally on the migration thing, maybe what if you have a customer or a client that has done all this but is still experiencing issues? What sort of remedies can they still do?
Yeah. So and that has happened, and thank you for Bryan for asking the question. So you can reach out to us on customer care. If you're within the country, you can reach out to us on customer care, such as 100, 200, visit our shop. Alternatively, if you're not, you can write to us on email at Safaricom customer care. You could also reach out to us on all our socials. We do respond on that. And we regret any inconvenience that you may be having, but we're looking forward to solving it.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. So I think all those questions were before you even get to the app. So now, assuming someone has done all that, now you're on the app. So because my M-Pesa app, it also has many apps. This is just one of the many apps within the my one app rather. So maybe the first question is, and I think you alluded to it as you were starting, is who is eligible to participate in Ziidi Traders? Because I know even on this meeting, we also have some East African citizens, as well as Kenyan foreign, or some Kenyans who may be registered M-Pesa using passport. So who is eligible?
Great question. So currently, we'd like to have everyone trade on it. But at the moment, we only allow Kenyan ID holders to participate on Ziidi Trader. We just launched 3 months ago, but we are looking to expand the number of users outside the Kenya national ID who can access it. Unfortunately, you can only use your Kenya national ID, but we will look to expand that to incorporate everyone else.
Yeah, so for the others, please be patient. I know this is something they're working on very hard. But for now, all this you're seeing, you'll be able to access it if you're a Kenyan ID holder. And then finally, M-Pesa also exists on the USSD. In fact, I think a lot of people put M-Pesa on the My SIM toolkit and things like that. So is it was it for this Ziidi Trader, is it only accessible via the app, or what about the USSD option?
That's really a great question, because what you have on our other investment products is that you can access via USSD. But like I began by mentioning, one of the key things that we do is we really do A/B testing, prototype testing. Then we walk around to customers. And what came out strongly was our customers are really keen on using it on the app, which also falls very well within our mission, which is Maisha Nipona Digital. We are going digital and trying to offer our customers a stellar experience digitally. Also plays very well with our one app. So we currently have it on USSD, on Mini app, where you'd find it on the M-Pesa app. So we don't have any access on USSD.
Okay, thanks for that. So I guess then just to summarize it all, or at least on the responses, is one, you need to have had a Kenyan ID when you're registering M-Pesa.
Correct.
At least you need a smartphone, which I think in Kenya it's not. I think a lot of the population actually has access to a smartphone, so that you can get access to
penetration is very high. Yes.
Yeah. In Kenya, right?
Yeah.
Now, quickly, I now want to get to you, Eric. I know when Ziidi app or when the Ziidi Trader launched, I think in fairness, a lot of people had this word about omnibus account. I think these are term many people had when this Ziidi Trader launched, and I know there have been a lot of queries about what is this. So maybe just explain to us briefly what is an omnibus account, and most importantly, how are my shares held? If I now buy a share using this platform, who has custody of these shares? Who do the shares legally belong to?
Okay, thank you, Bryan. Good question. Just for the record, an omnibus setup is an internationally recognized way of pulling retailers together. Just think about it. Having a CDS account, currently we have less than 2 million CDS active accounts. And I think last year we had the highest retail participation, which was around 61,000, which was around 23%. And that was a record high because compared to the previous 10 years, we've always been around 10%. So last year was a good year, but with only 61,000. I liked how when you started, Bryan, your conversation, you said the strategy for NSE 2025 all the way to 2029 was to bring 9 million clients on board. I think if anybody has a CDS account, just to open a CDS account, you need to have quite a number of documents. You need your ID, you'll need your PIN, you'll need your even to prove where you live, you'll need a few other documents, which sometimes as a student, you don't have a electricity bill to prove ownership of or residency. So we came up with this idea of trying to go paperless, but most importantly, to try and get as many people to participate in the Securities Exchange. And one of the ways was to bring people together and working closely with Safaricom and Gitau. The idea was we cannot open CDS accounts for each and every phone number, the 40 million plus M-Pesa users. So the best way was to create one single account, which is the Omnibus, and from there now link it to the Ziidi platform, so that at any one time when Gitau or Bryan is buying or selling shares, all those links are being hit into one account. So it's one aggregated account that is carrying everybody. But the recognition is that Gitau and Bryan, as much as they own shares in that one CDS account, they are treated independently. So we made sure that the omnibus reserved the right of dividends and voting. So in the eyes of the system, it's one CDS account, but in the eyes of the registrar or even the regulator, it's individual accounts who own shares within the Ziidi platform. So if Gitau owns 10 shares of NSE and I own 50 shares, but they are all in one CDS account, we are two different people, but the money has been kept in one account. I think it goes just ahead to show how M-Pesa also, they have one bank account, but at any one time, you have a share into that bank account. So if I have 1,000 today, tomorrow I'll have 2,000. You are seeing that, but in the account, it has hundreds of thousands that belong to various people. So that's the strategy we used so that we could be able to reduce the barrier and especially the friction to get the mwananchi into investing. And I liked also how, Gitau, you mentioned about the one share. Initially, people could only buy in multiples of 100. Think about it. I have 5,000 shillings. I have come and I've been told, we are sorry, the share that you want to buy, if you want to buy 100 shares, you have to add more money. Basically, you're chasing away that person. But now you can be able to buy shares worth 5,000. If a share if maybe the 5,000 will give you 20 shares, so be it. You go in there, you put in your order to buy the 20 shares. If the 5,000 in another counter can only buy you 5 shares, so be it. You go in there and buy. And we said we want to have a seamless and a flawless system. And that's where we came up and said, we cannot go to market with this 100 shillings minimum, not 100 shillings, 100 shares minimum. That one has to be removed. And it was removed. And thank you from the regulator and NSA for pushing for that. And we are very glad for that. And also, I think we wanted to reduce the paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork that goes behind just trying to open a normal CDS account. We were trying to remove that. The guy who is the Mama Mboga, the picky guy, there's no time he's going to be working with his KRA pin or all those other details. I think with what Safaricom has come up with, it's something very innovative, and it's something that we are not being told to sign up. You're actually being told to opt in. There's a very big difference between signing up and opting in. Opting in, it's like you've already been created for the way. For you is now just to use the highway. And I love a good expression on the expressway. You can either choose to go down or up. And up is very new, as you would call it in the street language. There's no issue of paperwork. And I like, Bryan, also you said something about selling. When you sell, you get paid immediately. And that's true. What we did, we also wanted to be fair to the investor. There's no way we can come and deduct your money from your M-Pesa instantly while you bought the shares. And if you needed some money, maybe a few hours later, just before the market closes, and currently it's 9 minutes to 3. So people, if you want to sell or buy, please do that. You need the money. If you put in your order and the order has to match the willing buyer and the execution is done, you get paid instantly as compared to the normal 3-day T+3 settlement cycle. We felt like it was only fair to give the mwananchi his value for money and value for him even starting to invest. We didn't want to give people barriers. We were actually wanted to make this system flawless so that we can be able to lower the barriers and even be able to bring in more people. Remember the statistics I gave you of 61,000 retailers who participated last year, which was a record high of 23%. Think about it now. We have over 40 million M-Pesa users. We are now giving you access to be able to buy and trade in a live market setup. I hear people compare Ziidi Trader with platforms like there's a one from the US. It's called a Robinhood. I just want to clarify. Robinhood doesn't give you direct market access. It gives you a market making access into the market. So there's a broker who is a market maker. So you're actually buying into his position. But in this case, we are giving you direct market access for you to be able to see the order book and decide on where you want to participate at. So the omnibus has worked. We have been able to distribute dividends when it comes in. We usually tell Safaricom just to indicate in the FAQs that we need to have T+5 working days so that we can be able to tabulate and distribute the dividends when it hits. We had people asking like KCB or Kenya Power, they gave their dividends. They dated so like an example today on the 8th of May. So you expect your dividends on the same day. Yes, the dividends will hit the omnibus on the same day, but for purposes of distribution, it will require a few days extra so that we can be able to distribute the dividends accordingly. Remember, there's usually a time lapse between the closure of the closure of the books and payment of dividends and distribution of dividends. Yeah, but we are making the process to be seamless, and maybe Gitau, you can comment on that, so that you will always get your dividends on time and the right dividends. As compared to if you had a CDS account, sometimes I know some people who filled in a check. So you will have to wait for like a week or two before the check is sent to the postal office, and then you take it and you have to send it to the bank for you to be able to cash it. So we are trying to make Ziidi so we are not discriminating brokers or even the traditional broking way. We're only saying, so long as you have a small ticket size, you can start with it and then you go graduating. And you're even encouraging people to still maintain a CDS account and still have the Ziidi account. Those are two different accounts. We are encouraging people to maintain that the same way you maintain an M-Pesa wallet and also a bank account. Thank you, Bryan.
Indeed, Eric, if I was to add on that dividends part, and great breakdown. is also there's a cost aspect. I'm paying you maybe 300 bob in dividends, and I'm sending you a check. I expect you to go to the mail, get it. You've already incurred a cost. And then I also expect you to go to the bank, again, another cost, and deposit it. And you'll be charged another cost. By the time that money hits your wallet, you're probably in the red. So one of the key things we're trying to do is make it easy and also beneficial for you to actually accumulate your wealth. So once it hits your M-Pesa, dividends is paid out and hits your M-Pesa direct at no additional transaction cost. So from there, you're able to use it. You can invest it in Ziidi or buy more shares of the same company. Yeah.
Excellent. I think that was the breakdown was very elaborate and very good. My key takeaways there is that this is the expressway, right? You can use the bottom road or the expressway and all that. And also the other thing, I think, and I think hopefully the audience can see this, it's all about convenience. I think the whole entire purpose of an omnibus and all this is the user experience, which I think Gitau you had mentioned at the start, so that for you as an investor, you don't have to worry about all these background things that are happening. You buy, you buy via M-Pesa. When you sell, you receive M-Pesa. And now we are hearing that the dividends come straight through to M-Pesa as well, which is, I think it saves you a lot of trouble or cost rather. And then finally, I think the one key distinction to be made here, if you're already a shareholder who has a CDSC account and you open a Ziidi Trader account, those are two different accounts. They are still your shares, just like I like that breakdown. If you have an M-Pesa account where you have money, and you have a bank account where you have money, all that money is still your money, just that it's in different accounts, right? But it's all yours. So I think that should be a key takeaway. Now, but Eric, I think coming back to you as well, when you're going through the order book, you gave us some highlights on how an investor may be able to track the market, or at least to see how the market is going. But in fairness, we are not all stock traders. So, for instance, when someone opens that app, you see a list of 60 companies. Sometimes you might be shocked because maybe you're seeing some of those names for the first time. So for a Ziidi investor in particular, where can one obtain more market information or even investment advice on what stocks to take over and above the insights on order book that you gave us earlier?
Okay, thank you for that question. And I think that one has been one of the repeated questions that everybody asks whenever we get to meet. And this is where we encourage people to start reading. They usually say Kenya is not a reading nation. We are now encouraging people to start reading. And we have in the partnership that Safaricom has is, and it was not by chance. It was something that they also thought about. They partnered with Kestrel Capital. They have, over the many years, they have been over 30 years investment journey. So they have a very good research team. We're encouraging people to visit their website so that they can be able to even subscribe to the information and the materials that are available, especially when it comes to market intelligence and also company performances. But at the same time, we are also partnering with Safaricom. If you go to the app, you'll be able to see somewhere where they give you an overview of the company that just gives you what the company does. Then the order book, and then right next to it, there's the corporate actions. So I know right now it's still in development. We have been able, and we are compiling the information so that we can be able to unload into the app, and that one should be available shortly. But we're also encouraging people to be a reading nation. Start buying newspapers, start enrolling yourself. As much as you have many WhatsApp groups with your friends talking about how we are gonna enjoy the weekend or how things have been, start joining other investment groups that we have. Like we have this CFA group. You find that you'll have people of like mind who are talking about or they are trying to decode the results for Safaricom and Equity Bank, and you get to learn and get to hear that somebody will say something, and that information will be very instrumental in you making a decision between buying or selling. I like when now suddenly everybody has become an expert in the market. But I'm telling guys, everybody is an expert in his own way. but we are encouraging guys to associate yourself with with so we have Kenya Wall Street, we have the NSE website. It has very good intel. And NSE, I love you because whenever there's corporate actions, you release it immediately. So please subscribe to such websites, or even such Instagram or socials. We call them the social outlets. Yeah. And they're available there. Kestrel has, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, and so forth. And every time a company announces, they usually throw in a flash on just a small brief, just to give how the company has performed. And I always tell people, as much as you want to start participating in the stock market, participate in a company that you can associate with. I give you an example: Safaricom. You'll always have your mobile phone. If you want to charge your phone, again, you're using Kenya Power, so again, that's a good stock. If you want to fly out of the country, there's KQ. If you want to entertain guests, there's EABL. If if you have a lot of money, or you have some money, you'll always keep it in a bank. Which bank? It's for you to choose. People prefer Equity Bank, others KCB, others DTK. So there are so many things that can guide you. And again, another one, very important, again, the dividend yield. Already the information is out there. I'm holding a paper that I've just printed that gives me the dividend yield. So again, look for such information. I think it's available on the Business Daily on Fridays, or even on majority of the investment banks and stock brokerage firms. Just visit their website. You'll be able to get their report that will be able to guide you on the dividend yield and closing date and just market insights.
Yeah, I think that's a very good
Yeah.
response. And maybe to emphasize, a lot of this information is even available for free in some
Yeah,
of the.
thank you.
Yeah, and you have also highlighted Kestrel Capital, which is again a partner in this program. And maybe guys can go and look at the website, because the other thing to highlight is that these entities you've mentioned are also regulated to offer such kinds of advice, right? So when you read a research report from a Kestrel, for instance, which is available on the website, these are people licensed to do this job, so you can, you can have some comfort in the same. Right now, just while you're still there, Eric, I think so. It's a good thing. First of all, we've heard that settlement is instant, and now the market has closed. But if I was to sell my shares at 259, I will have my money for Friday. And I think there's another question that has come through the chat to this effect is, so let's say, for example, I wanted to buy a stock. I wanted to buy stock A, and I put in a price that did not match. It did not match in the order book. So how long will
Yes.
my money be locked in to that? How soon can I get my money? What are the kinds of orders that are there within this platform?
So with the Ziidi Trader, we made it very simple. If you go to a broker, he'll give you three options of placing an order: a good till cancel, uh, good till a certain amount of shares are traded, and so forth. But on the ZD, we were very simple. We were like, if you place your order and it's not executed by 3 o'clock, your money is either refunded back, uh, if you are buying in that case, or if you are selling, because you had placed your order, your shares in the market, so you are, so we call it shadow balance. You had your shares, but they were still available in the market for sale. So immediately when the market closes and they have not been sold, they revert back to your portfolio. So you'll be able to have access to them, and you try again the following day. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
what
in any
we,
particular day,
yeah,
yeah, the orders
or
have to,
any particular,
yeah.
yeah, it's good till cancel. So orders expire as of 3 o'clock. Assuming you are buying 1,000 shares, you only manage 500 shares. You'll be given back, if you are buying, you'll be given back the money equivalent to the balance of what has remained. And if you are selling, you only sold 500 shares. You'll be paid for the 500, and the balance shares are returned back for you to try to sell tomorrow the balance of the shares. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So now I think now hopefully the audience is forming a picture. So just from the top, you need the My One app. You need to have registered your M-Pesa with a Kenyan ID. Once you have that, you opt in is the word that was used. You opt into Ziidi Trader. before you even start buying shares, we have been encouraged to read as a country, go and read information, select which stock, from that reading, hopefully you'll come up with the stock that you want, then you can click buy. So now when we click buy, now let's talk money now. What are the fees? Just describe the fees on this platform. If I'm looking to buy or even to sell shares, how much am I being charged and how does it compare to other platforms out there?
Thank you for that. I wish Gitau would be able to just log in to
Market
the
is
app.
closed.
Oh, market is closed. Yeah.
Market is
No,
closed.
yeah, but you can be able to see the snapshot. I think if you recall, for the audience, so when Gitau was trying to buy, there's a place where he was pressing, and so you're able to see the different levies that are charged. So in totality, it's an all-in 1.5%. Of course, there is the NSC levies, the CDSC levies, the broker commission, and so forth. But currently in the market, Ziidi Trader is the cheapest at 1.5%, because if you had a CDSC, they would charge you 2.1% for trades below 100,000 and 2% for trades above 100,000. So currently in the market, Ziidi is very competitive. And the target again was to reduce the friction and the barriers that were preventing people coming into the stock market. So Safaricom was gracious enough to consider that and lower the costs.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
both cost
Yeah.
competitive and more convenient, basically. Usually,
Yes.
when
Yes.
you take the expressway, you pay an extra fee, over the person going
Correct.
down. But now we are saying it's
Yes.
the
It's
opposite.
the other way around. Yes,
Yeah.
it's the opposite. Yeah.
And
And maybe
yep.
and so the hurdle fee, I think, maybe just to emphasize, when you buy, of course, assuming you buy a stock at 10 shillings, and immediately you look at it, it will show you a negative. I know people have also asked that question in the portfolio. It's because it has factored in the 1.5%. So the price needs to move up by at least 3% so that you can be able to having broken even. The 1.5% coming in and the potential 1.5% selling. So the hurdle fee here, or the hurdle rate that we need to lock, is the 3%. So anything above 3% going forward, the system will show you green, and it's showing you profit for that matter. Maybe something also to emphasize is, I know somebody who bought one share at 2 bob. And when he goes to his portfolio, he's seeing his portfolio is like negative 100. He's made a loss of 100. Reason is because, again, stamp duty. Stamp duty is charged 2 shillings for every 10,000 and below. So for every trade, it's charging you 2 shillings. So if you bought one stock, one share at 2 shillings, and then you had to pay some 0 point something percent. So already that cost of that share is 2 shillings and 10 cents, but then there's the minimum 2 shillings. So already, yeah, so I'm encouraging people not to buy the actual one share, but to buy more shares. The one share was just to give you comfort that we are factoring in the amount of money that you have to be able to maximize, because we used to have a problem when you come with a 10,000 shillings, you are buying a lot of 100, so maybe you could have spent 8,000, and then the 2,000 remains with the broker. Then you ask your broker, but now this 2,000, I don't want it back. Can't you not buy me more shares? And then now the broker on the other hand will be like, Mama, please add 6,000 so that we buy you the next batch of 100 shares. So whenever we preach the story about one share, we don't necessarily mean buy one share. We actually mean buy equivalent to the amount of money you have. So you're being catered for, you're being factored for. If you had 8,000, we'll buy you worth 8,000. If it's 1,000 shillings, we'll buy you worth 1,000. That was the
Yeah.
goal behind, not somebody to take a matatu, go to a broker to buy one share.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's also easier. Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
think also
yeah.
just to assure the audience on this point, because I think as part of the government work that, or at least government engagement work that we are doing at the NSE, we are trying to to make that stamp duty a bit more flexible, and we can assure you it's ongoing work. So for now, maybe just start trading some higher amounts, but don't worry, these are things that that we are sorting out. And just to clarify, I think what you mentioned is that if you buy 10,000 of stock and if you buy 1,000 of stock, stamp duty will be 2 shillings a share. It's charged per lots of 10,000, not as a percentage of how much you bought. And that's one of the things we are trying to amend. But while we're on this item of fees as well, uh, maybe another interesting question here is, now, these fees, the 1.5% that we've talked about is when you're actually buying shares. But what about the movement of money from Ziidi Trader to M-Pesa, or from M-Pesa to Ziidi Trader? Maybe Gitau, you can clarify, are there any additional costs between Ziidi Trader and M-Pesa wallet?
So currently, customers do not incur an additional charge for buying or selling. So whatever trade you're doing, be it a buy or a sell, we have no additional transaction charges. So the only cost you incur would be your commission on buy or commission on sell.
Yeah.
It goes even further for your dividends. So you do not also incur a charge for dividends. So when you receive your money, it is net of fees and the tax has already been withdrawn. Please note there's tax charged on dividends.
Yeah.
On our IPO, we recently closed on the KPC IPO, where Ziidi Trader had over 36,000 retail traders. And within that, we also did not charge users, our Ziidi Trader customers, a transaction charge to buy. So the main aim here is to be able to empower all Kenyans with wealth accumulation tools at the most convenient way for you.
Yeah. Excellent. So the fee, what we are hearing is final 1.5%.
Yep.
When you dividends, I guess now the Ziidi team, you withhold the taxes that are there on dividend, which is usually 5% for Kenyans. Then the money lands in your M-Pesa at no extra cost. So it's
at no extra cost.
It's all very streamlined. So hopefully that paints a bit of color. So to the audience, I'm only left with 2 questions, and we intend to finish this in the next 10 or so minutes so that you can have the Friday to yourselves. But let's now, I know people like to be inspired, right? And Ziidi launched around February, and now it's 1 or 2, let's say 2 months of traction. Maybe Eric, you can tell us, what impact has Ziidi actually made on the NSE? What is the frequency and volume of trades? Tell us about some of your success factors so that others can also be inspired to participate in it.
Yes. Thank you for that. I think the success has been, it was instant. And I remember the first day, we did around 25,000, over 25,000 trades per day. I think the previous day, the highest going back from the time NSE was started, over almost how many years? 60, 50 something, 54?
70. We
Over
celebrated 70 years
70.
last year. Yeah.
Yes, 70, yeah. So it was 10,000 for, no, it was 8,400, if I'm not wrong. I think I still have that. Yeah, it was 10,400. But with Ziidi, we were able to come and break the records all the way to 25,000. So currently, Ziidi orders have been around 60% on average ever since February 10th when the product was launched. So clearly, it shows that there were people who were not being served. There are people who are very hungry for investing. I think they had just lacked a convenient, frictionless mode of investing, and Ziidi has really taken up a lot of market share. We are still growing. Of course, remember again, it's a small ticket size. Remember, there's a 250, 500,000 limit within M-Pesa. But slowly but surely, what we are telling and encouraging people is start trading with Ziidi, and then slowly you can graduate to the CDS account whereby your account is big. And even if you have that CDS account, if you want to check on the price, you don't have to call your broker. Just go to Ziidi and you'll be able to see where the bids are, the offers are, where the market is currently trading, and so forth. So with the successes, we were able to do 49.3% on the IPO, based on the fact that we only had less than a week to participate, because Ziidi came in towards the end of the IPO. Ziidi was launched, I think, on the 10th of February. The IPO closed on the 19th. I think we added a few days extra. So in totality, we had less than 8 days, but we were able to capture the market with 49.3% retail participation. On the other aspect, every other month we have been seeing Ziidi CDS account growing, and normally the buys constitute to 80%. The selling we see around 20%. The normal buying and selling. So it shows that currently where we are in this phase, we are more of accumulators than sellers. And we are happy about that. And as always, there'll always be a buyer today and somebody selling tomorrow. And that's why we're encouraging people. You can invest in an MMF fund, you can invest in a special fund, but at the same time, you can also invest in the stock market. And you'll be able to have your liquidity probably even faster than withdrawing from an MMF fund, apart from maybe if you're within the Ziidi platform, they'll give you instantly. In other, you have to give them a day's notice or so forth. In the stock market, we are saying if you really need to exit, you can look at the order book, make sure you place your order in the right price, and you'll be able to sell. So the successes have been really good. We've been seeing a lot of traction. And I think earlier on in the month when we started, the ticket sizes were averaging around 1,500. Over time, especially this being the third month, the ticket size has grown to 3,000 plus. So it shows that somebody was trying to buy just to test the system, but with the comfort and the convenience that we've been able to deliver, they're slowly now growing their portfolio to bigger ticket sizes. So you find somebody is placing an order worth maybe 50,000 plus and so forth, and 10,000. And maybe he had started off with 100 shillings or a few thousands. So the progress is there. I believe we still have a lot to do, especially when it comes to the number of people who are participating. We'd want more people to participate. Again, I think also NSE, you have really emphasized that your target is to grow from the minimum, the current 2 million to over 9 million, especially retail clients. So I think when we work hand in hand with NSE, we'll be able to achieve that in partnership with Safaricom.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's something we're very keen on. And as I said at the start, this is one of a series of webinars to help get investor education out there so that, you can know what are shares, two, you can know how to buy them and also how to sell them, as evidenced here. So, and that's very, and that's very actually inspiring, because you're saying in 2 months' time, you actually account for 60% of all orders of the NSE within a very short period of time. And not only that, so it's 60% of orders, not of volume, but we are saying that or rather of orders, not of total turnover.
Yes,
But of that, we are
correct.
saying the average ticket size per order has now been increasing steadily from 1,500
Yes,
to now 3,000. So it means even people on this platform are becoming a bit more, they're putting a bit more money in it because maybe they're now
yes,
comfortable, or maybe they understand the stock market better. So I think that's
correct.
inspiring. And then lastly, my last question to now both of yourselves, Eric and Gitau, is what are you guys cooking? What enhancements can people expect from Ziidi? So I think we've talked about what it is now, but I'm sure you are thinking some new things in the near-term future. Are you able to loop us in?
Gitau, please go ahead.
So at the stage we are at right now is understanding our customer and their behavior and what are the pain points and how we can improve their journey. So the key stage that we are at right now is just trying to understand what would make your experience better, what would help you trade more. One of the biggest feedbacks we're receiving from our customers is, how can I know what to buy? I'm having anxiety of making my first trade. So that's one of the key areas we're looking at, and we're working very closely with our partner, Kestrel. As I mentioned, they've been 30 years in the market, so a very strong partner, to understand how can we improve on this customer behavior to help you make your first trade. If it's not your first trade, it's to give you more confidence to trade even more within that. There are a few things that we are hoping to also unlock. And a key feedback we're receiving from our customers is, why does trading have to stop at 3? At 3 p.m., I'm still deep in work. I don't have the time to lift my head and make a trade. Can trading be made longer? Can you have longer trading hours? So that's one of the feedback. And to you, Bryan, is customers would like to trade, would like longer trading hours. So as they're going to work, as they're driving home, they also have the ability driving on your commute home. Maybe you're seated on your sofa, rested. Probably you're watching the news. You could also have the ability to make your trade. And this has been observed from even patterns within M-Pesa, where we have where we have peak points, peak hours that are past trading hours.
Excellent. I've written that feedback. I'll share it with my CEO
Yeah,
as soon as he gets in. So that's feedback for us as well, right? And
yeah,
it's good we are
indeed.
hearing it from the person doing 60% of the orders on NSE. So we'll take it seriously. We'll weight it to that 60%.
Yeah,
But thank you for the same. And I
yeah,
think these new enhancements can always commence as long as you have the core product. And I'd encourage people here on this call, if you have not tried it, you can try it out. I know that now the market is
yes.
closed, but you can go and read. We've been told to read in this call. Go and read over the
Mhm.
weekend. The market will open Monday 9 a.m.
But
You
yeah,
can have
maybe Bryan,
those.
maybe to add, so the platform does not close, so it's possible you can get in, just familiarize, opt
Ah,
in,
ah,
see the trades, just here to see where the trades are, how to process of buying. It's good
yeah.
to understand. And as you're reading, put it on your wish list. Just make sure you put it top of your mind. I'm tracking Safaricom. Of course, I'll say Safaricom being after releasing such very good results. So you put it at the top in terms of your wish list and you track it from there. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, even NSE paid a dividend of 1 shilling, so we are not too out. We are not too
Yeah,
out
it's
from each
one.
other.
You see, I have a portfolio of NSE.
Yeah, oh, okay. Hey, in
It's
fact, you
really
brought it on the
performed.
call.
It's
You-
performed well since last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
excellent. So I think that's the rallying call, I think, to
And maybe on a light joke. I don't know when you're listing, Eric. Would also like to buy Kestrel.
you know when
Yeah.
when certainly certainly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
proceed,
No,
Eric.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you remember NSC used to, uh, it was a private company, but then it listed itself into its own stock market. So even we would also encourage other brokers to do the same, because they have done that in international markets. You find JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley have listed in the stock
Mm,
market. So yeah, it's
yeah.
true. Gitau, you have a valid point. So we'll, I will,
I'll,
I,
I'll
I'll
take that
pass
on.
that to. I'll pass that. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to hand it back to Grace. The good thing is I realize my panelists have been very active in the Q&A, so I don't think we have any outstanding question that perhaps has not been addressed. So maybe I wanted to hand it back to Grace. You can close it out, and I hope for the people who joined in, you have actually derived some value from this conversation, and it's something you can act on. So over to you, Grace.
Thank you so
Okay,
much,
before Grace,
Bryan.
yeah,
Mhm.
Mm.
uh,
Yes, Eric.
Grace, maybe, yeah, there's one question that is yet to be answered, and I was hoping Gita would answer that. How is money, or somebody has answered it, about the 500,000?
Yeah, I was
Well,
actually, yes, I was responding to it.
yeah,
So
maybe you
yeah,
can
and
just tell
that's
people.
a great question in terms of funds. As you know, you trade within M-Pesa trading limits, which is 500,000. So both buy and sell. So for buy, you'd look at your 500,000 a day in two transactions, 250, 250. To buy, to sell, any transactions within the 500 would be credited to your wallet same day. Anything that goes above your 500,000 is credited within daily limits. So we'd move it to your wallet within daily limits. There was also a question that came in, and thank you for your feedback, is how can you have a wallet that's outside M-Pesa that is able to be some sort of saving? And I think the example is something similar to Mshwari. So we are in the process of creating that to enable customers just continue investing. So if you're buying, you're probably pulling from your investment wallet. If you're selling, you're pushing it back to your investment wallet. If you receive your dividends, you're also pushing it back to your investment wallet. Remember, the key thing is to empower our customers to go beyond payments and give them financial health. Yeah, thanks.
Yay, thank you very much. So over to you, Grace, and thank you for that clarification, Gitau.
All right. Thank you so much, Bryan and Eric and Gitau, for the informative session. I believe, like myself, other people have been able to learn, and I hope the CFA community has benefited a lot from this call. And thank you so much, community, for engaging even in the Q&A. And I believe, Bryan, our community will still call upon you for another session. So CFA community, whenever you need Kestra, whenever you need Eric, whenever you need Gitau from Safaricom, just reach out to us and we'll be able to organize another webinar like this. But maybe one last question. A colleague of mine was asking if there are any capital gains from within the market or someone that can benefit from trading. Maybe you can take that one as our last closing shot.
Maybe I'll answer that because I think that's more an NSE question as well. So now the good thing is, let's say you buy a stock for 10 shillings and sell it at 15. You know, you've bought low, you've sold high, you've made a gain of 5 shillings. The stock market is exempt from capital gains taxes. So you receive that 5 shilling in its entirety. So, you know, and for those of you who buy or sell cars or even land, you know, in that gain, you'll be charged some capital gains, even for those or for the entities that perhaps are more sophisticated, the people who do private equity and this type of thing. You know, if you're selling private shares in Kenya and you're selling a stake in a company privately, you'll also be charged capital gains if you made actually a profit when you're buying and selling. But on the NSE is CGT exempt. So that gain that you get it in entirety. Now, with reference to Ziidi Trader, the only fee that you will incur is that 1.5% that they mentioned, because that's just a trading fee. But the actual gain that you get, there's no other cost that is lumped upon it.
Thank you so much, Bryan. And since I don't know whether I see another final question, but I think we've answered everything. Not a question, but thank you so much. One of our attenders is appreciating the session and the good work that you're doing, Gitau, Bryan, and Eric, in your respective organizations. We really appreciate your time, even to take time within the middle of the day to talk to us on a Friday evening. We really appreciate, and even from our president and our CEO from the CFA Society community, we really appreciate and receive their regards. John today was speaking at JQAT, so he was not able to join the call, but he passed his regards and appreciation for you guys taking time to join us today. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, everyone, and wishing you all a nice afternoon.
Okay,
Thank you. Good weekend.
Thank you.
Nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.